big boy. Oh! Who would have freaking... I didn't think it would happen. You did it. Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Last week we were doing some boat improvements on the carpet. We recarpeted two side pieces on the Sea Nymph, and today we are going to be talking about fish finders. Now, in the last video, if you watched it till the end, you did see my new back fish finder for the back of the boat, which is a Striker 5 CV, which is right here. Oh, Striker Plus 5 CV, which is right here. And then we have the front fish finder, which is the Striker Plus 7 SV. So today we are going to get into just a little bit of why I changed, in my opinion, from my perspective, and then we're gonna go into how I wired them up on the boat. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy, and as always, here we go. Okay, so before I get into putting them on my boat and showing them how I did it, I'm going to show you what I had before. So this is the Humminbird PiranhaMAX 4. It did me justice for last year. It got my feet wet for learning about bass fishing, learning about depths, temperatures, contours, where the school fish are going, and it was a good learning tool. This guy right here, only about $100, okay? So if you're looking for a cheap fish finder, you can buy this one at really any sportsman shop for about $100. And I'll tell you what, it did me justice. From the end of last year to getting into hunting season, I was really debating on purchasing new fish finders because I really want to start getting more into it with learning about contours and depths and looking at topographical maps and the whole shebang. So this guy right here doesn't have all the options that I wanted to learn about, so we upgraded this year. So let's get into what is on the back of the boat. We have the box right here for the Striker Plus 5 CV, and as you can see, the screen is so much larger than what I did have. This one I believe is like a 2-inch by maybe 5-inch screen. This guy, 5-inch screen across, and you probably got 2 or 3 inches in height. Now, the differences are insane. This guy has different controls. You could do maps, you could do the clear view, I believe. There's so many crazy things that you could do with this fish finder, and it's for a good price. I think I paid like $300 for this guy, and it was on sale. Usually they run for about $400. So if you wait till they're on sale, a good sale, you could get it for about $300, and that's kind of the budget I wanted to stay in. So this is the back fish finder, and so far it has done me justice. I'll show you what they look like on the boat and what it looks like all light up. But yeah, it's a great starter. It's a great jump and a great starter, jumping from the Piranha all the way up to the Garmin. Comparing these two, it's like night and day with size. Obviously, you gain 2 more inches in the 7SV than the than the 5CV. But I'll tell you what, in comparison, the reason why I got a bigger one for the front and a smaller one for the back, realistically, the only time I'm going to be using the back trolling motor is to be viewing depths, temperatures, and contours. That's kind of the only reason why I'm putting one in the back. So when I'm working on the big motor in the back and I'm driving across the lake, I could see, okay, this might be a good spot, this might be a good spot. So that's why I got the 5 CV for the back of the boat. Now, the big 7SV is for the front. Now this fish finder is basically going to be on 24/7 when I'm on the water. This guy will not be turned off. It will not be shut off. it is going to be my main fish finder to find great fishing spots, get really detailed in the water. Now this guy right here runs about, I think it was 600? 500. So this one's about 500. It kind of depends on what you want to use them for and where you want to put them. I know professionals, they get the big 12 inchers. Well, you know, you can only afford as much as you can, so that's why I got a 7 for the front and a 5 for the back, just because I think it's going to be a good combination. I think it's going to work really well. So without further ado, let's get into the boat and see how we wired them and how it's going with the mounting. Alrighty guys, so we are on the boat and I just got the fish finders mounted, and I'm going to go through a pretty detailed explanation of how I did it. So we're going to start with the transducer. So transducer here, what we did here is I took the transducer, put the mount on it. I'm waiting for either a transducer plate or I might just mount it to the actual transom myself. Not sure, kind of throwing it around. I ran that wire through here and through this overflow hole, okay? Then what I did is I bought some grommets, drilled some holes all the way through, ran it up into the 5CV, okay? So that is the transducer. Very basic, very simple. Just took that transducer wire, put it through the overflow hole, drilled a hole in the side here, ran it up through, and it comes up right here. All the excess wire, because it gives you like 25 foot of wire, is neatly organized about right there and then runs up through here. So then you might ask, where is your power and how did you rig your power? So what I did was, the power wire actually runs from the fish finder down through. We drilled a hole right here. It runs straight to the battery. Now, with the amount of wire they actually give you for the Garmin, it's like 2 feet. It's really nothing. So what we did was I took some extra black and red 18 gauge wire, wrapped it in some shrink wrap basically, and what that does is it protects the wire, so in case it gets cut or anything, it won't cut the actual wire, it'll protect it. And then I put some waterproof connectors on there. So really simple, really easy. I'll show you that right now. So here is the shrink wrap wire, the 18 gauge wire is wrapped in, and then the positive and negative connectors for the battery are also waterproof. So she is running perfect, and I couldn't be happier with how the back one turned out. So now let's get to the front. Not to change the subject or anything, but look what just came in the mail. My transom plate. Yes, I did order a transom plate. I'm so excited to put it on because the motor actually, I measured it the other day, it does sit about 2 inches low. So what we're going to do, put that plate on. The plate is automatically going to lift it up 2 inches, and then all I have to do is adjust it half an inch. But I wanted to get the maximum performance out of my motor, so I did end up buying a transom plate for the motor itself. Okay guys, so just like the back, I'm going to go over the transducer first. So you might be wondering, what in God's name did you build here? In the front here, I have an old Johnson 55-pound thrust front trolling motor, okay? So these old trolling motors aren't like the new ones. It has this giant fin here, as you can see. I'm going to try and... Can you see that? Yeah. So this giant fin here, and the transducer actually would not fit on this open space that I have after the fin. So I looked on a couple fishing forums and I found one called Texas Fishing Forum. Great guys, they are so helpful. I asked them if anybody has had this issue, and one of the guys actually sent me this picture and told me this is what he did because he had the exact same fish finder and the exact same trolling motor. So what I did here was I took 1/4 inch steel tubing, stainless steel tubing, bolted it onto the fin of the trolling motor, and then I measured a perfect extension for the fish finder. So then I just mounted it down with some hose clamps, and this guy right here actually is for protecting the fish finder. So if I ever get into a shallow area where I don't know how close I am to rocks, hopefully this will get impacted before it hits the fish finder because it sits so low. So that is the kind of quick overview of this right here. Yes, I'm going to cut all this extra stuff off. I just wanted to give you a quick overview of how I mounted the transducer on this old Johnson. Alright guys, so this is the transducer wire right here. Runs up the shaft, and I ran it straight down into this hole here. Okay, I made a nice little covering over it so it doesn't look like crap. I ran it back up through this hole. So what the reason why I did that is, again, the transducer wire was like 20 feet long, and I didn't want all this wire just sitting out and about, just making a mess of the boat. So I just ran it down through. It's sitting at the bottom of the boat right now. And then I ran it back up through here, tied it down here, and then plugged it into the fish finder. That is kind of the quick overview of the transducer. Now I'm going to talk to you real quick about the power and how I rigged the power up. So the power was actually plain and simple, just like the back. They only gave me about 2 foot of power wire. So again, I had to take 18 gauge wire, wrap it in that shrink wrap almost, or that shrink tubing, and then I had to run it from the front of the boat here down all the way to this battery here. So again, I used the exact same principle, 18 gauge wire right here and right here, surrounded with that shrink wrap, and then waterproof connectors on both of them. So basically, the wiring will not get affected by the water. No connector should come off because they are that shrink wrap, and then when you put them waterproof connectors on, it actually makes it so that there's like a little sticky residue to make it waterproof, not only shrinking it with a lighter, but that little stickiness kind of makes it almost impossible to take it off unless you cut it. The back fish finder is looking awesome right there. The front trolling motor works. It's awesome. I'm so excited for the upcoming season. Last year I was thinking about how I can make this boat better and more efficient, and 2 fish finders is definitely a start. Next will be the transom plate. Now, the transom plate video will probably be next week's video, so I'm really excited for that. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was kind of helpful. I know I just kind of did a quick tutorial on how to do it, or how I did it, but I figured that you guys know so much about you know, fish finders and stuff. I didn't want to bore you too much, but I just wanted to show you the key things that I did for my fish finders to make them look awesome and for them to work the most efficient. So thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. The subscribers that we've getting, I think we're 9 subscribers away from 250. That's insane. So I wanted to say thank you guys for that. Thank you for all the love and support, and as always, we'll see you on the next one. Oh my god, this is a big boy. Oh. Who would have freaking...